All right, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about commercial building owners and what Verks does. Verks is a company that we've put together in 2016, my partner and I. We've been developing product. It took about 18 months to develop our first product. And then from that point on, in 2017, we've been doing pilots and putting out evaluation units. There's approximately 7 million building owners out there that have large properties, and they need to know what the heck's going on in their building. Basically, they don't have a clue as far as water and gas is concerned. They've got good sensors for electricity usage, occupancy, HVAC systems. Those types of things are easy to measure. 15% of commercial buildings right now have monitoring systems. That number is growing. Owners want to track costs, they want to detect leaks, and they want to protect their building and optimize their plant. There's regulations in New York City, like the LEED regulations for energy efficient buildings. So what we've done is we've created a high quality sensor that senses both gas and water. It's basically very simple to install, and I've got one over here at the table. All it is, you take this small little sensor and you can strap it to the side of a water meter or a gas meter, and it basically figures out what's going on inside. There's an electronics package that mounts nearby, and then that can put that information, what the meter is doing and what the meter is reading, and to put that on the internet. We usually don't go directly on the internet. Usually it'll go into things like a gateway or a remote data unit that a building manager would install in a closet somewhere, usually down in the basement of the building where the meter is located. So what our sensor does is it basically learns what's going on inside the meter, the mechanical motions of the meter. And once that pattern has been learned, then the sensor knows what the meter's doing. Meter revolutions are converted to volume and flow. We can report out in cubic feet, gallons, cubic meters, whatever the customer wants. We can also do single revolution if that's what the customer wants. We integrate flow into total accumulated volume, and we do this at a rapid sample rate. So we sample actually at a kilohertz rate, and we do data processing and get that down to 4 millisecond rate. Communications to data supervisory systems and control systems. We support multiple industrial protocols, Modbus, MQTT. We can also do a pulse output, and we're Modbus RTU ready. Although we haven't had any call for RTU yet, but we suspect that's coming. We also do remote product management. So over the internet, you can do configuration of the product, you can get status from what's going on, and you can do remote firmware upgrades. So you can add features to the product over time. The real problem here is damage from water and water leaks. And this house is actually in Chicago, the Chicago area. And this was a small leak left unattended for a long period of time. And basically the house was a total loss. Water damage from leaks is 7 times more likely than a fire, 6 times more likely than a burglary. And you really can't detect leaks if you're getting information from your utility once a month or once a quarter. And you need information much faster than that, particularly to understand what's going on as far as the usage patterns are concerned. People do data logging, demand-side management, particularly for making better use of the infrastructure that exists and utilizing the resources within the building, or the resource usage within the building better. Monitoring and fleet management. So these building aggregators, they'll have a large group of buildings that they may be monitoring, and we can help them with that. Our competition, well, there's a lot of people who are trying to get into this space. Most of the competition out there requires a plumber to install. Costs can be high, and their data quality is low. Typically, their reporting rates are very low. And we have high resolution, high reporting rate, and we can give building owners and real data that they can use to do to figure out really what's going on within their building. And most of these systems also don't have standard protocols, so the customer can't really get at the data directly. He has to go through the company's servers, in the case of the IoT systems. It could be MQTT brokers or IoT cloud servers. We give them direct access to their data. And basically, this is a big selling point for us because the customers love this. They don't have to pay us for their data. We have customers right now across the country. We've got evaluation units in California, on the West Coast, Oregon. We're talking to people in Arizona and Utah. We've got an evaluation unit going on, pilot unit going on in Colorado. And we've got a lot of things going on in the East Coast, of course, because we're both here. My partner and I are both here in the East Coast. We've got some units down in Virginia. We've actually sold and have 62 units installed in New York City. We have another 50 units installed in Boston. And things are going on. Now, just with the 20 customer contacts that we have and the units that we have installed, we've identified over 100,000 unit sales. So we really haven't gotten started yet. Customers, well, everyone we've talked to so far believes that this system, these sensors, really address a demand that they have and can help them with their problems. But the big thing here is not the comments, not what we read, it's what we see. Because what we see are, in the case of our customer in Boston, he's on his third order right now, and he's getting ready to make another order. Our customer in New York is on their second order, New York City is on their second order, and they're getting ready to make another order. We've got 2 other customers who are in pilot right now, and they're ready to transition and order product. So what's our ask? Well, right now we have a grant that we're working on from the Massachusetts Center for Economic Conservation. We're going to be applying for round 2. That's a $250,000 grant if we get it. The grant we have right now is about a $60,000 grant, if I remember correctly. If we can get help identifying SBIR money, New York State and ICERTA money, we really are not familiar with how to get hooked into these opportunities. That would help us particularly fund some of the other developments that we have. We need to create an outdoor product. Most of our product right now, most of our installations are being done indoors, or they're being repackaged by the customer into a waterproof or weather-resistant package. A summer intern would be helpful. We have an intern right now in Burlington, Vermont. We just finished up another intern out of the University of Massachusetts. Nice thing about the Mass CEC grant that we have is they pay the salary for our interns, so we don't have to fund that bill. And oops, I guess that's my beeper. Well, you want maybe one more slide? Yeah, let me flip to. So this is it. Myself and my partner, Alex Scheimitz, he's in Boston. We're a virtual company, so we both work out of our house. We have some advisors who are in the Boston area, and our market advisor happens to also be one of our customers. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Okay. We got a couple questions. I'll get you next. Over here.
What's the underlying sensor technology? Is it audio?
No. We use a magnetic sensor.
Is this patented?
Yes.
It is.
Well, we have a provisional patent. We're actually filing a real patent right now. We're in that process.
Okay.
Well, right now what we're doing is we're attending shows, water shows, building, the trade shows for the building management companies. And what we've done really so far has just been word of mouth. And we've got a guy we're talking to now out in the Midwest to help us with sales, but we really don't have any direct stream to market, any distribution at this point.
Another question over here.
Where do you actually install the sensor?
Well, the sensor is installed at the meter.
At the meter.
At the meter.
Okay.
And then we've got the unit we have now, the electronics package, is close to the meter. We're developing another sensor that can be done remotely.
So if you have a running toilet in a hotel, the meter, your sensor at that meter would detect that you have
Like a leak in a toilet?
Yes.
So let me give you a anecdote, something that happened to me. The first unit we built, when we were testing it, I put it on my home water meter as a test. And I was the only one in the house, nobody else in the house, nobody using water. And the thing was registering water usage. So I start walking around the house. I figure, well, it's either broken, either it's not working right, or there's something going on. Up in my daughter's bathroom, the bathtub, drip, drip, drip. We can detect a quarter of a teaspoon with our sensor. That's the accuracy level we have.
Give it up for Verks.